Well, welcome back, everyone. We have Dan Hodges, our Johnny Appleseed naturalist extraordinaire in.
Yes.
And Dan, I've seen some beautiful little, well, one beautiful little baby in front of me. And
so we're talking a little bit about baby animals. And listen, this is not the first time or the last time you'll hear this spring because this is the time of year for those babies. You know, we're not that far from Mother's Day. Animal mothers are really good mothers. And so let's start off with that. They're taking care of their babies the way their babies need to be taken care of. So we're talking about mammal babies, we're talking about birds, we're talking even reptiles and amphibians. They're taking care of them the way they're kind of designed to be taken care of. So a lot of times I think that we feel compelled to intervene somehow. We find a baby animal, like maybe a baby fawn here, and we say, oh no, I don't see mom around,
right. And
I
so
need
cute.
to take, it is so cute. Oh, it is. And we you know, our heartstrings are pulled and we want to take care of these animals. And so first of all, mom knows what she's doing. So a lot of these animals are being cared for the way they need to be cared for. And there's lots of different animals too, and some of their care varies. Like the fawn's gonna be visited early in the morning and late at night, and then it's gonna be left alone. And it's going to hunker down, hidden in the grass. It's not going to move. You're going to walk up to it and think, oh, you're not moving. You're not running away. Let me help you. And really, it's doing exactly what it's designed to be doing. And mom knows exactly where it is and how to care for it. And that's true for rabbits as well. We see these cute little nests in our yard, and we see the babies. Oh, I haven't seen mom in several hours. Well, they're not supposed to see mom for many hours. And so understanding what kind of animals we're working with, I think, is really important.
yeah.
And so we have, of course, birds as well, you know, and they're so cute in the nest, whatever. This is a vulnerable time, by the way, in the nest. So when they're just hatched and their baby's in the nest, this is a dangerous space because they can't leave, they can't move around. And so kind of leaving them alone is really the best step. So keep a little bit of distance, don't attract attention to it, and usually mom will be able to take care of those babies fine. One of the things I wanted to mention, and I brought a little brochure here, this is from the Department of Natural Resources here, and I like the way they call it. They called it orphaned and injured wildlife. And so what to do if you find orphaned or injured wildlife. And the key there is it should be orphaned before we intervene, right? Usually they're not orphaned and we don't know they are, right? Or injured. We should be able to see an injury. Otherwise, if it's not one of those two categories, leave it alone.
Right.
And mom will take care of those babies the way they know how to. If you end up calling the park district, we'll tell you to call a wildlife rehabilitator. And if you end up calling a wildlife rehabilitator, they'll tell you, leave it alone, unless it's really a serious need for intervention. Some of the best things we can do, actually, is to try to remove some of the risks from these animals. So if you've got a dog, keep it on a leash. If you've got cats, keep them indoors. If you're using the lawnmower, mow around that section for just a couple weeks. Like I said, this is a vulnerable time. They don't want to be in the nest very long.
Right.
And so kind of avoid them. Just give them a couple weeks and they'll be out of your hair, and they'll be on to the next generation, so to speak.
All right. Well, Dan, I mean, thank you for coming in. So now we know that if we see something that's been left alone, that's very adorable, our instincts kick in. We say we want to protect it. We want to take it home and make it our own. And
absolutely. The best thing to do is if it's in harm's way, you can kind of try to remove that harm as best as you can. But really, the best thing to do is to leave it alone and let mom take care of it. If there is a situation where you have an orphaned and injured wildlife, you can find at wildohio.gov. They've got this brochure and some others resources for wildlife rehabilitators that can help those animals. I know. See, the reason we bring this up every year in May is because we get calls from people who care, and we care too. We get calls from people who care, and they say, hey, I've got this animal. I've taken it out of my backyard. I've been trying to feed it, sugar water or donuts, and it's not eating, and I'm afraid it's going to die. And we say, it probably is going to die because you kidnapped it from its family.
Right.
and poisoned. So we don't want that to happen, and I don't think you do either. A lot of people really do care. So the best thing to do is leave them alone.
Leave it alone.
And if there really is an issue, there's great resources. Look them up first before you take the animal out of the wild. Take a look online. You can give us a call too, but really we're going to tell you to call somebody else. So take a look at wildahile.gov and find kind of the best steps to take for your situation. Leaving them alone is usually the best step.
All right. Well, Dan, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Hey, get outside, enjoy them. Use some binoculars. Take a step back. You can have fun with these animals. Just maybe leave them alone.
Leave them alone. All right. Well, don't go away because we have more to return.